Hello everyone, welcome back for the lecture series of engineering mechanics. Today we are going to start our sixth unit, that is kinetics of rectilinear motion. So the difference between the kinematics and kinetics we have already studied. It is it is a branch of dynamics which deals with the study of body is in motion with considering the force and the mass which cause the motion. Here we have to consider the force and the mass which is cause for the motions in kinetics, and in kinematics we don't consider the force and the mass which cause the motion. So along with the kinetics of the particle we have to learn here work energy principle, then momentum, principle of conservation of momentum, then impact. So these are the some contents we are going to learn during our last unit, that is sixth unit. So let's begin with the introduction. In rectilinear motion, the acceleration is generally caused by the unbalanced force. If the force is balanced, then we can say that body is in equilibrium. Yes or no? Yes. If there is all forces are in balance condition, then the body is in equilibrium. In rectilinear motion, acceleration is caused only because of the unbalanced force. And in this topic, we are going to discuss the Newton's second law. So I think all of you know that what is Newton's second law? When system of unbalanced force acting on a particle, the particle moves with an acceleration which is proportional to the unbalanced force. Due to unbalanced force, the body is subjected to the acceleration, and this acceleration is proportional to the whatever the unbalanced force. So we know that F is proportional to the, or A is proportional to F. So we can write down the equation as F is equal to M into A. Newton's second law. The acceleration of a particle is directly proportional to magnitude of the resultant force acting on it and its direction of the resultant force. I will read out again. The acceleration of a particle is directly proportional to magnitude of the resultant force acting on it and is in direction of resultant force. The acceleration is always in the direction of whatever the resultant force. So we can write down the equation summation of F is equal to M into A. Summation of F means the summation of all the forces in the direction of motion. So that will be equal to M into A. Now we can write down this equation in the form of dynamic equilibrium. If we take this, or if we add the vector MA with a negative sign or the opposite direction of that of forces, then the equation resembles like a dynamic equilibrium. And this equation is known as a D'Alembert's equation of dynamic equilibrium. Okay, this equation is nothing but this equation is nothing but the same equation as that of this equation, but I have take this MA towards the left hand side by changing its sign and adding these two F and MA algebraically will be equal to 0. This is the equation of dynamic equilibrium and it is known as D'Alembert's equation of dynamic equilibrium. Now here MA is known as an inertia force. Now in order to solve numerical, we have to resolve this equation, or we can write down this equation into its two components. One is in x direction, another one is in y direction. So what are the components in x direction? That is summation of f of x minus m into ax, and in y direction summation of f of y minus m into ay, which is equal to 0. Now this equation I have written in along the x and y direction. Got it? Now you have to just remember these two equations while solving the numericals. Now Newton's second law of motion can be applied for the normal and tangential component also. Or for the NT system. For NT system, the equation will be become as summation of f is equal to ma. Instead of that, it becomes as summation of f of t into m into at, where at is equal to dv by dt in normal direction, and summation of f of n is equal to m into an. An is equal to v square upon rho. Rho is the radius of curvature. So just you have to remember these two equations. Summation of f of t is equal to m into at, where at is equal to change in velocity with respect to time, and summation of f of n is equal to m into an, where an is equal to v square upon rho. So Newton's second law. Now we are going to solve some numericals based on the Newton's second law, that is rectilinear motion, the kinetics of rectilinear motion. Now read the problem carefully. The 50 kg crate is traveled along the floor with an initial velocity is 7 meter per second at x is equal to 0. The coefficient of kinetic friction, that is mu k, 0.4. Calculate the time required for the crate come to rest and the corresponding distance traveled s x. Now one crate is given whose weight is 50 kg, which is travel along the floor with an initial velocity, that is u, is given 7 meter per second at x is equal to 0. Now we have to find out the distance travel for coming to the rest. Coming to the rest means we have to find out x when v is equal to 0. We have to find out x when v is equal to 0, and coefficient of kinetic friction is given 0.4. Now the mass of the crate is given 50 kg. Convert it into weight. So w is m is equal to w is equal to m into g. So m is 50 and g is 9.81. So that is 490.5 Newton is your weight. Now this is the given data. Now we have to draw the free body diagram of this 50 kg crate. Now this crate is given, which is having the velocity, initial velocity is given 7 meter per second, and this crate is moving along the x direction. As this crate is moving along this positive x direction, let's say that positive x direction, so friction force will be developed in the negative direction or negative x direction or opposite to the direction of motion. Now this is the motion, so this is your frictional force. Now this crate is rest on a horizontal floor. This is the weight of this crate. Due to this, it is resting on the horizontal floor. The floor will exert the normal reaction on the crate. So these two are the equal and opposite forces. Now, is there any movement in y direction of this crate? This crate is moving in x direction. Is there any movement in y direction? Yes, there is no moment in a y direction, or displacement in y direction is 0. Therefore, acceleration in y direction is 0. So we can directly write down summation of f of y is equal to m into ay, but summation of f of y is equal to, in this case, 0, as ay is 0. Now summation of f of y is equal to, what are the forces in y direction? Minus w plus n. These are the two forces in y direction. So what you will get from this equation, you will get the value minus w plus n is equal to 0. So from this equation you will get w is equal to n. So the value of n is m into g. Okay. So w is minus 490.5 and n will be the same value. So n is equal to 490.5 Newton. Now in continuation of that problem, now here if we consider the motion is in x direction. Now what is the formula of Newton's second law in x direction? Summation of f of x is equal to m into x. The formula is summation of f is equal to ma. So x indicates the suffix of direction. Summation of f of x is equal to m into x. Therefore summation of f of x is equal to frictional force, which is equal to mu k into n. This frictional force F is nothing but the mu into n. But here the problem is of dynamic equilibrium, so it is k. So mu k into n. So mu is given 0.4 and n is 490. So you will get summation of f of x is equal to 0.4 into 490. So this is, if we substitute these values in equation of summation of f of x is equal to m into ax, so you will get the value of ax, that is acceleration in x direction, that will comes out to be 3.924 meter per second square. Now ax is known. They have asked us to find out x and t when ax value this one and v is equal to 0. So for that we have to use the equation v square is equal to u square plus twice of ax. So v is equal to 0, u is 7 plus twice a is minus 3.924. So from that you will get the value of x, that is 6.24 meter. Now this displacement is known to us when v is equal to 0 and a is equal to minus 3.924 meter per second square. Why it is minus? Because it is retardation and finally it comes to the rest. Therefore this value is minus. Now another equation of rectilinear motion, v is equal to u plus at, v is equal to 0, u is equal to 7, a is equal to minus 3.924 into t. So t is equal to 1.724 second. This is the time when v is equal to 0 and this is the distance when v is equal to 0. So these two are your required answer. This is displacement and this is the time when the body comes to rest. Okay, so very simple problem. Here just we have to use the Newton's second law in x and y direction and substitute the given data and find out the unknowns. Now come towards the problem number 2. A man moves a crate by pushing horizontally against until slides on the floor if mu k is equal to 0.4 and mu s is equal to 0.5. With what acceleration does the crate begins to move? Assume the force exerted by the man at impending motion is maintained when sliding begins. Okay, a man moves a crate by pushing horizontally. We have to push that crate by the force P. And initially it is mu s is the coefficient of static friction is 0.5 and mu k when it starts sliding it is 0.4 given. We have to find out the acceleration, with what acceleration the crate will begins to slide. So that we have to find out the A. Assume that force exerted by man at impending motion is maintained when sliding begins. So that force is maintained when the sliding begins. So mass of crate M is given, so weight is equal to M into G. The coefficient of kinetic friction is, this value is given 0.4. Initial velocity of the crate is 0. Let P be the force required to push the crate on the floor. So sorry, it should be a mu s, coefficient of static friction 0.4. Let P be the force required to push the crate on the floor. Now this is the free body diagram. This is crate, this is the force P. Due to this force P, the crate will be moved in towards x direction, positive. So the friction force will be developed in opposite direction, that is minus x direction. Now this is normal reaction due to floor, and this is weight mg. So these are the forces acting on this crate. So summation of f of y is equal to 0 as there is no moment in a y direction. So summation of f of y is equal to m into ay, and summation of f of y is equal to minus w plus n. Acceleration in y direction is 0, therefore ay is equal to 0. So you will get minus w is equal to minus mg. Minus is the sign, so mg plus n. So from that n is equal to mg. We will get this one equation. Then apply the, when body for impending motion just begun to move, so in that case it is in equilibrium. So what is that impending motion? P is equal to this force. P is equal to, when P is equal to F, then body is in impending, means with small amount of increases of force P, the body will start move. So when P becomes greater than F, then body start movement. Now first case, P is equal to F, or we can say that in another way, the addition of these two forces P and F by equilibrium condition is equal to 0. Therefore here I have written summation of f of x is equal to 0. The P is equal to mu s into n, F is equal to mu into n. That formula I have used. Substitute the value of mu s 0.5. So you will get P is equal to 0.5 n. As n is equal to mg, so you will get P is equal to 0.5 into mg. So this one equation is known to us. P is equal to 0.5 mg. Now using second law in x direction. Now we have to apply the Newton's second law. Summation of f of x is equal to m into ax. So summation of f of x, what are the forces in x direction? Plus P minus friction. So P minus mu k into n is equal to m into ax. Putting the value of P and n in this equation and taking m common, so you will get acceleration ax is equal to 0.1 into g, that is 0.981 meter per second square. This is the acceleration of crate. So thank you friends, thus we have solved the two numericals of block friction in x and y direction. Hope you have enjoyed this session. Thank you very much.